All righty. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. As you know, we host these webinars every single month. This month's is on benefits enrollment and administration. And as we come into the end of the year, this is when most folks are thinking about this. So certainly we want to make sure that we're offering resources to help you manage that. One of the really nice things about benefits administration is it takes it all electronic and takes a lot of the burden off of you as an administrator. So we just went through our open enrollment October 1, and last month I was going through this whole process and getting everything built so that we didn't have to have any paper in the office, even though, we are paper trails after all. But today we're going to talk about what is benefits administration, why is it important. We're going to look at the employee experience and how that works, and then we'll look at the admin experience, talk about some of the integrations, and we'll have some time for questions. So, of course, like I noted, what is benefits administration? Essentially, within isolved, we can go through and build all of your benefits plans, all of your eligibility rules. Everything can be built into isolved, all the rates, employee and employer contributions, everything gets set up in there. So when it comes time to manage benefits, or when you hire people or go through your open enrollment, the process becomes really easy. There's eligibility rules, and reports that will help you see who is eligible, when they're eligible. If you have different plans for different classes of employees or based on different tenures, certainly we see a lot of clients that might have grandfathered plans for older, or longer tenured employees versus newer employees, things like that. All those rules can be taken into account, and we can see exactly who's eligible, when, where, and why. Once you've determined who's eligible, when that can happen, if you're going through your open enrollment or hiring folks, you can then get them to go through a full open enrollment or benefits enrollment process. The employee will walk through the wizard, which we're going to see in just a minute. And in that wizard, they can go ahead and select their benefits, see how much it's going to cost them on a weekly basis, monthly basis, and so forth. Learn all about the benefits, get everything enrolled. And then once you review it and approve it as an admin, if you have the carrier connections turned on, those will automatically push over to all of your benefits carriers, and enrollment will be done. No more paperwork, no more entering information manually, just review, approve, and you're done. So it's pretty slick, works really, really well. We've seen a lot of clients that have really, really benefited from this. So let's take a look and see what it looks like, right? So I'm logged in as an employee here, certainly through myhrstuff.com or through the isolved People Cloud mobile app. This is fully mobile friendly. We're going to show this on the web version here for today. But certainly we know within My HR Stuff, employees can go in and manage just about everything in their HR world. They can manage their payroll, they can manage their time. Benefits is just one of them. We know we're going to talk about that today, but we also could do expenses. There's learning management. There's so much more in here that employees can do. But today we are here to talk about benefits. So I'm going to go into benefits and go to my benefit enrollment. And when we set this up, when we build your open enrollment, we go through and we say, okay, let's set up some email reminders. So when open enrollment opens, it's going to send emails out. If there are folks that haven't finished their open enrollment by the deadline, it will continuously, we can set those reminders up to, notify them every single day before the deadline. Hey, don't forget to do your enrollment. Certainly that's an important piece in here as well. And of course, you as the admin will be able to see who has started it, who hasn't started it, who's finished it, and all of that fun stuff. So when we come into benefit enrollment, first we start on our welcome page. You can certainly update these messages, instructions any way you want, give that information here. We also could attach a document or a slideshow or something like that if you wanted to show that. But employee goes right in, and it's first going to show you exactly what they have today. On the right-hand side, we have our shopping cart. This shows you what they're enrolling in. In this scenario, I have it set up so that it's automatically going to show, it's automatically going to elect what they have already enrolled in, right? So we already see a couple checkboxes, our menu and our path over here on the left. Our shopping cart on the right is going to tell us exactly per pay period or per month or per year what that cost is going to be to this employee. And it starts right out with their personal information, and they can certainly review that. They can manage to make sure that everything is correct. If something has changed, they are welcome to come in here and change that so they know that it's always accurate. Then they're going to click next. Certainly a lot of these plans may require beneficiaries or dependents, right? So if you're going to have a life insurance plan or a retirement plan, there may need to be a beneficiary. If there's a dependent that needs to be added on there because you want to cover a spouse on there, for example, let's go ahead and find spouse. And we're going to say this is both my beneficiary and my dependent. And we'll call this Jose Garcia. Date of birth. Social in there. Certainly you can use the employee's address, put phone numbers in there, anything you'd like to put in there, and hit save. So now, as we're going through this process, we can assign the spouse or the children or however you want on there. So I'm going to go ahead, hit next. There is a health and wellness page on here. So certainly some plans may ask you if you're a tobacco user. Sometimes that's a required field for these plans. Similarly, if there's a medical plan that might require a primary care physician, that information will be captured as well. But we can just go ahead and click through that. And now it's going to show you exactly what you are enrolled in today. So we can see not a whole lot of coverage here currently for Carla, but I think she's going to change that today. So, and certainly all of these plans can be customized. We build every single plan for you based on what you offer. Okay, so if you have 3 or 4 different medical plans, if you have a life insurance, if you have health, if you have accident insurance, if you have FSA, HSA, any type of benefit plan that you might have, we would build it. You know, we have one client that offers pet insurance. Employees can purchase pet insurance through the business. We build those plans in here, and you can go ahead and add those in here any way you like. So this shows what they're in. I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Shows our cost analysis at a summary. You can see exactly by each plan. These are the 2 different plans that the company is offering today, what the cost is for each tier of coverage, right? So you can see exactly what, if I'm going to choose the high deductible plan, it's 0 cost to me. But if I want that PPO plan, it's a little more expensive. So you can see exactly what each plan costs before you get started, before you get into this. And again, any number of plans, any types of plans would be built in here. So let's get right into it. We're going to go ahead and choose Principal 401k. I want to edit this, and I'm going to say, I want to start putting 10% of my check away into this every single time. And I'm going to hit save and exit. The other thing I should have mentioned, if folks are not eligible for these plans, they will not show up. So certainly, again, if you had 5 different plans, but this employee was only eligible for 2 of the 5, that would be all that would show up. Certainly, you can go look at the cost analysis here. And again, that will show you exactly at an overview, what each plan costs. We could take a look. I want to see just a specific tier. I only want to see the employee coverage because that's all I care about, or the employee and spouse coverage, something like that. You can choose that. The employee can come say, I want to opt out of this, or they can opt into this. So certainly as we come in here, we can come select this. And on the right, when we come in here, we can see exactly, we could put links in the messages over here to review perhaps the summary of benefits. You could link to that page or something else. We could attach a presentation or a document here for them to see exactly what this coverage includes or doesn't include. So I'm going to go ahead and choose employee plus spouse coverage, and it's going to ask me who's getting covered, right? So we're going to include that one dependent. Certainly we can add any others if you want. It's telling me it's $137. And again, here, remember that this plan requires a PCP. So we're going to go ahead and put that in here. Okay. And I'm going to select that plan. Now it's moved on, and you notice over here on the right, my shopping cart now shows this is what my per pay contributions are going to be. And again, I can see per month, per year, so forth. We only have one option for the dental, so we're going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to, again, do my spouse, make sure Jose is in there as well. And we'll go ahead and select. Oh, this plan says we need coverage as well. Nobody wears glasses, so we're going to waive the vision coverage. It always does ask for a waiver reason. So we just say, economic or personal choice, because we don't need that vision insurance, right? This allows us to do an HSA. Now, in this situation, because of the plan we chose, it's going to require us to choose, or it's going to allow us to choose an HSA. If we chose that PPO plan, for example, you would not even get the option for the HSA. But because we chose that high deductible plan, we are eligible for the HSA and we can go ahead and enroll in that. So we can do the full family because we have 2 people here. And again, it knows the limits. It shows us you can only contribute $7,300 this year, right? So if you wanted to do that full amount, you could do that. Or we can choose, less, whatever we want to do. Let's just do $2,000 into the HSA. If the company was contributing as well, you would see the company match as well. So you can see that, and we'll see that at the end, what the match is and so forth. You can go put your HSA bank information in here. If you're using an integrated solution, you won't have to do this because that will automatically be integrated. I'm going to go ahead and select here. Right? Basic life automatically already included in here. We're going to go and just edit that if we wanted to. You can see exactly this is a company paid coverage. So there's nothing that has to be done here other than just saying I want in or I don't want in. That's kind of how it works here. That's a nice one. And now we can see here's our summary, right? So we can see exactly what the cost is, what it's going to cost me every single time I get paid. So next. And that's all. We can go ahead and just hit next through here, and we're going to go ahead and see exactly what everything looks like, right? So you're going to go ahead and put this much in. The employer is going to put their portion in as well, right? So you can see what the employer contribution to each of these is. When we go ahead and approve these show up on their check. Not only the deductions get updated automatically, but the employer contribution will show on the check as well, so that they know exactly their full contribution every single time. And certainly we know we need to have a deduction authorization, so we can certainly, this tells the employer that they can go ahead and take this money from their check. So that's benefits enrollment. Employee goes in, reviews that. They can come in here at any time on here and look at what they're enrolled in for benefits today. You can see what's coming in, what they're in, what they're not in, and so forth. So they can look at that at any time as well. So that's the employee experience. So employees go in, they get reminders, they know what they've got. It works pretty slick from that regard, and they just go in and choose what they want. I can tell you it works really, really well. So let's take a look at the employer experience. So once the employee goes in and chooses what they'd like, we now have our admin portal. So if you've been in here before, you know exactly what is going on. And we're going to go ahead and look at our eligible to enroll screen. This shows you all of your employees, who started it, who hasn't started it, and so forth. We're looking at all this. If we look down here, we have 2 that people have completed it, but most people have not started this yet. How many days left and so forth. You can filter this by anything. So if we want to just see the completed folks, we can see that. We can see anybody that's in progress or not started. This enrollment management dashboard, again, shows us the ones that are in process and those that are eligible to be approved. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh this because certainly we know we finished that. So now, if these all look good, you can click in here, see what the coverage is. If there's any information they want on here, you can go ahead and look at those. You can approve them all, approve any or reject them all, and we're going to process all of these transactions and we're going to approve them. If you're using a carrier feed, I'll go ahead and approve this. If you're using a carrier feed, which carrier feed is, again, a direct connection to Anthem, to Delta Dental, to Aetna, to Cigna, whoever your carrier is, as soon as you hit approve, it's going to send that over to that carrier. And that enrollment process is going to start automatically. So no need for you to log into the Anthem website, enter any data, renew anything. The carrier feed does that all for you once you hit approve there. Sometimes there might be evidence of insurability requirements that might be here for some of the insurance things. You can manage all of those on the dashboard. If they need to fill out a health form or things like that, you can keep track of those in here as well. If you're not using the integrations, we certainly have a number of reports. We can come in here and see, I want to see all the benefit elections by employee in here, and that's going to give us our report of exactly who worked, who enrolled in which plans. And that's really nice to see. And this is what you would use if you did have to go in and log into the Anthem website, the Delta Dental website, and so forth. And this, again, gives us our coverage by employee, what they've chosen, and all that stuff. The other thing that happens when you approve this is it automatically goes in and updates the deductions for the employee. So if I come into employee benefits and I want to see the benefits for Isaac here, I can now see exactly what they're enrolled in, what their per payroll deduction is, when it starts, when it ends, and what that looks like. And again, that will go in here and show exactly what that is. So, and this automatically links to the deduction. You can manage that all in here. No need to update anything once you've hit approve there. Again, we've got our reports here, all sorts of different reports to show you who enrolled, who waived, and so forth. Really, really helpful. There's some other benefits tools in here that are really good as well. The one is the benefits evaluation report. So you can see who's eligible. I want to see all employees who are eligible for benefit plan this year in the future. And it's going to go ahead, oops, right here. I'm going to get a report of who's benefit eligible based on all of our eligibility rules that we've set up in here. It's going to say it. Okay, these people are ready to go for 401k starting this year. So lots of different information here. There's a loss of coverage ACA benefit eligibility. So if you have a new employee who isn't benefit eligible until a certain period of time, certainly you can go in here and evaluate that as well. So that's really helpful. Wrong year. Again, if you're doing that, if you're using the ACA minimum standards and during your waiting period, things like that, lots of benefits evaluations in here. You can look at the termination report, see who has an active benefit plan and has been terminated, right? We want to cancel those sooner than later because that's money left on the table. Similarly, we have the benefits reconciliation tool. So this kind of comes in here and allows you to go in and say, okay, I want to see everybody who has missed a payroll, who is short a payroll, owes me money, right? So we have a variance on this where they were supposed to have $10 paid, but they didn't, right? And they're short. So we've got to go collect that. You can come in here and review that and collect that. You can manage your variances. So we can come in and update the individual time entry automatically to add, okay, we want to do $20 this period because it's going to automatically save that for the next payroll. It's going to collect that money so it's not missed, right? Again, huge money could be left on the table. Someone misses a payroll, something like that. But this benefits reconciliation tool really helps you from that regard. So that's a quick overview of tons of reports, tons of reporting. The really nice thing with this is if you need to do ACA reporting, you can go ahead and this does most of the ACA reporting for us because we're using this. It knows who's eligible, when an offer was made, and so forth. Make sure all of the ACA reporting is done correctly and tracked correctly. So really, really powerful from a benefits management perspective. From an admin, takes a lot of that away. So that is a pretty good overview of what benefits looks like, how it works, and so forth. I always like to share the resources that we have available to you. Big one coming up, paid family medical leave starts January 1. Deductions will start from employees' checks. Employers must start contributing January 1. If you are eligible, we did a webinar last month on that. We have another webinar scheduled to talk about the mechanics of how to get registered, how everything's going to work in January. That is in December 17th. But we have a full resource guide on our website, papertrails.com/PFML, if you need to know more information about that. Likewise, our year-end checklist is just about done. We're getting that, the finishing touches put on that. I can't believe we're already talking about year-end. But if you go to papertrails.com/year-end, we have the full list on there as well, and more to come on that. Don't forget, Small Business Big World is our podcast. We talk about all sorts of fun things every week. You can go to papertrails.com/podcast for that. And certainly, like we talked about, downloading the isolved People Cloud app in the App Store or the Google Play Store. So next month's webinar, we're going to talk about that year-end checklist. Lots going on this year. Lots of compliance things, lots of updates on wage limits. Obviously, PFML is going to be a big one. Lots of compliance things that are coming into play this year. So certainly help us get ready for year-end with that. I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody has about this, show anything a little more specific. Certainly the chat is open. feel free to ask questions in the chat or the Q&A, or raise your hand and we can give you the permission to speak. But I'm happy to answer any questions or show you anything else. There is a cost to the benefits management module, Jane. I'm happy to show that. We can reach out offline on that. It does depend on the number of plans and a bunch of different factors. Certainly, I will reach out to you after the fact and we can look that over for you. I'm not seeing any other follow-up questions, but certainly we're always happy to answer any questions. Feel free to reach out to your payroll processor if you have questions on this. Want to see something more specific? Again, certainly this is very, very customizable. It's all based on the plans that you offer. So it's certainly something that we want to have a good conversation with you about if you're interested. So, all right. Well, we will see everybody next month. We look forward to that. Until then, have a great afternoon. Bye now.